What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/the Hardy Construction with yours comp. And oh, jeez, how'd you pull that out of your ass? Today's film is
A Dark Song, 2016.
A Dark Song, 2016. A determined young woman and a damaged occultist risk their lives and souls to perform a dangerous ritual that will grant them what they want. Directed by Liam Gavin, written by him as well, starring Mark Huberman, Susan Luhane, Steve Oram, as well as Catherine Walker. So,
Wow.
it's so funny because I think I listed the two characters that are in the movie for 5 seconds. Steve Oram and Catherine Walker are the actual leads in this film. They're playing Joseph Solomon and Sophia Howard, respectively. So I don't even know why they're those two other people in the movie. If they're, who's the woman? Who was the woman in the movie?
There's the sister of Sophia.
Okay, very good. Because there's
She's in for like 2 seconds.
This is a film that's mostly two characters and then two superfluous, not superfluous, but two other characters that show up for like one scene only.
Yeah, this is weird actually. On IMDb, it lists this Neil Hughes character first, but he's the guy that sells the house. Like, he's in it for like 30 seconds.
Maybe he did what, you know how Facebook, where you could put $5 to make your like company show up on people's news feeds? Maybe he did that for IMDb. He was like, why don't you take
have his thing on IMDb?
How about I give you £5? Oh, what kind of money they use in Ireland? I don't know. It's an Irish movie. It's an Irish.
Don't they use pounds? Well, it depends what part.
Oh, is it the euro?
Ireland.
No, they're still. Who knows? So this is an Irish horror psychological thriller film. And I remember seeing the trailer for, or actually reading about it on some website, and I was like, oh, it stars the guy from Sightseers, which is Steve Oram. He was the serial killer in Sightseers, the movie made by
Ben Wheatley.
Ben Wheatley. And this film has the trailer for it was particularly creepy. I think what they got across in the trailer...
Ireland uses the euro, I'm sorry.
I think the film got the sense of the movie correct. I mean, the trailer for the film got what you expected out of the movie. I gotta say, out front, yeah, it was probably better that way. But I gotta say, I wasn't so amazed by the film, but I did like it because, well, we'll get into it. What is this film, A Dark Song, about, Danny?
It is about a woman who is trying to contact her son, we think. So she finds this like magic dude to like do a ritual with her for. Then that's the whole movie.
It's pretty
doing the ritual.
It's pretty good for the first hour of the film. It's probably 99 minutes according to the wiki, and it's pretty good at keeping you guessing about what the hell is going on. For 90% of the film, the character Joseph Solomon, who's the occultist, I was like, this guy's full of shit. He's setting her up. He's just being a pervert. He's like taking her money.
I do like the part where he jerks off, and it makes you think
that
10 times more.
I knew you would. But no, the film starts out with this woman played by Catherine Walker. She's playing Sophia Howard. She's buying this. Is that a flat? Because it was shot in two locations, one being a mansion and one being another house. But she buys this home, I guess, in the Irish. What would you call that area? Countryside.
Well, no, she's in Wales actually. She goes to Wales.
Okay, she's in England. She's buying this house.
Wales is its own thing.
And she wants the house immediately. So I forgot how much she pays. She pays like nearly 30.
A lot.
She pays a lot of money. There you go. And she buys this house, and she gets in contact with her sister. I think that's midway through the film. I don't remember. I was like, I saw this movie over 2 days.
No, it's before the ritual starts.
Okay, so she's gonna set up this ritual with this weirdo occultist played by Steve Oram. It's funny because he plays a psychopath in Sightseers, but he's playing a completely different psychopath in this film.
He's really not a psychopath in this.
He's a little bit of a psycho. The part when he makes her get naked and he jerks off just because he's a man, I think that's pretty psychopathic.
That's a scum. That's a scum. That's not a psycho.
I think that's pretty equal in terms
of...
No.
Killing,
you've got to be a little bit...
Murdering people because they like bumped into you in a bar is a psycho. Jerking off to somebody is being a jerk.
But there's like a lack of self-control I think in both in both things that makes the separation of them pretty tenuous. I think they're pretty similar in a sense. I understand there's levels of
He's
psychopathy,
he's not
but
killing people. There,
I
that's
get
the
that.
line.
But here's the thing: people can have psychopathic problems and not kill people. I mean, you're aware of that. That's why they got psychotherapy
Yeah,
because of the
I guess
mind.
that's true, but he doesn't strike me as like
See, there's a
a
difference. There's a psycho,
psycho.
and then there's an actual killer. There's
He's
a
not.
leap
No, he
from
just
one to
seems
the
like
other,
a.
isn't
He
there?
just seems like a scumbag. He doesn't seem like psycho.
Okay, so the other scene, she speaks with her sister, who wants her sister. Essentially, I guess it's Victoria Howard. She's not in the movie for long. She's basically one scene. She wants her to kind of leave and leave wherever she is and come live with her children. But obviously, Catherine has lost her child, and it's a movie where they sort of leave things unexplained. Although they do explain it, it's still not fully explained. Like I don't know whether she explains where the
Like,
father of the child is, unless I was
how
like,
does she? How does she know that the kids did ritual that they, killed her?
I'm sure the police found out and said that. Like I'm sure when they found the kid, because there are
Okay,
things like like that the Slenderman thing that happened a while back with the two girls that took
right.
the other girl into the woods and they try to sacrifice her for the Slenderman, which is clearly a fucking internet meme. But those girls
Yeah.
actually believed it to be real. Like I can't think like creepypasta, because creepypasta is sort of this I've written some before. I've done comics for it, but it's essentially creepypasta is like urban legends and urban tales that people just have fun writing. And there's plenty of podcasts dedicated to horror stories like that. It's a big thing on the internet.
And these girls just took
And
it
these
seriously.
girls saw something that started on a comedy website. They believe that it to be real. There's a film called Beware the Slenderman that came out on HBO that was about um, that whole trial, but also I guess it's talking about internet sort of horror stories and the like of it. I mean, the guy who created it, I
The
hope he's
the
getting some
internet
money.
has shown me that people are way more bizarre and way
Yeah.
stupider than you would ever think.
I mean, there was a guy that actually invented Slenderman, and I'm sure he must have felt like shit when there's two girls,
It's not his fault.
Right, exactly. But I'm sure he felt like shit, thinking like, oh my god, like you create something and you do it, you release it into the world. Hopefully, it's okay. It's sort of like the Pepe the Frog. You ever hear about that thing on the
Helter
internet?
Skelter.
There's like this green cartoon frog that was
Yeah.
created like an indie comic, and then apparently it was adapted by racists for their Nazi or whatever the fuck racism shit.
Jesus.
And the guy's like, "Oh my god! Like I just created a goofy cartoon character called Pepe the Frog," and and it's like a cool sort of indie looking design. But then of course
What about
people have
like
to meet
the
to
swastika? It used to be like a
yeah, it was
different
like
symbol that meant good luck or something.
yeah. Now it means good
What about
fuck.
the Hitler mustache? That's one that really upsets me.
That one, Charlie Chaplin had it. Hitler
He
had
he,
it.
he ruined this mustache.
I remember seeing the. What would you want to wear that? I think you
I
would get in
mean,
trouble.
I don't know, but maybe if not for the fact that it's so
It's
heavily
just
associated
that
with
you would
Hitler.
like the option to be there, but now it's not there. That's what it is.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, for all I know, I would look awesome with one.
But I remember seeing this guy on YouTube. He like had a Hitler mustache for a while, and like he was living in Japan, and he was complaining about people bitching about it, so he had to cut off his mustache. Even though he's a Latino, and he's certainly not a racist, from what I remember as a guy on YouTube. And I actually knew a
Right.
kid in college that he didn't seem like a racist at all. He was just like a goofball, and he had a Hitler mustache for a little while too. And even Michael Jordan had a Hitler mustache for a little bit. So maybe he was.
The guy from Sparks, some like random band, had a Hitler mustache.
Could you imagine if Hitler got revived from hell and he comes out of his grave and then he came up, he like awoke.
He kills
during the-
everybody that has his mustache.
No, he awoke during the time that he saw Michael Jordan with a Hitler mustache, and he goes, "Ach du lieber!" and then he just blew up. Like, that'd be great, because he was like, "That's just not a fight, man." All right. Back to this film, A Dark Song. So this woman's child died from a sacrifice or an occultic ritualistic murder. They don't go into who the kids. I guess I don't know if the kids got arrested.
No, they didn't get caught.
Oh, is that what she said? Okay, because she wants revenge. That's basically what her wish is. She wants to summon a guardian angel to grant her wish, which is to have revenge on these people that killed her child, which is very understandable. And this film is
Yeah.
essentially the dark depths that this woman will go through. I guess anybody would go through to, have vengeance on people who've hurt them. It
What I
doesn't. It
like
doesn't
about this
say.
movie, what?
It doesn't say like what happened to the father, of the kid, right? Unless I must have missed what she
No, it
says in the
doesn't
film.
mention it as
Okay,
far
so
as
go
I know.
ahead.
But what I like about this movie is like usually all these movies are like somebody does some like goetic fucking magic spell and then the rest of the movie is like demons or something. But this is like the whole movie is
Yeah, this is
literally just
essentially this is a cool film that like obviously when I was watching it I was like, okay, so this is a low budget film. Like my mind changed at the last 10 minutes of the movie. Like this doesn't seem like a low budget film at the end of it. It seemed like they saved the budget for the ending of the film, which is nice. It certainly is a film where you have to have patience in watching it because with a low budget film, what I notice a lot is
well, that's
that
kind of symbolic of the whole movie though, because the whole thing is her having patience as she's doing this six
right,
month
exactly.
ritual.
Hey, that's good. Now I give the movie 10,000 points. The film is what I worry about with low budget films is that they do a lot of repetition. I guess to sort of pad out the film because you can do it because it's sort of menial things like when she's drinking blood, which is not a menial thing, but it's an image that's easily you're able to easily capture it on film. She's drinking blood, she's lighting candles, shit like that. So it is a film that has a bit of repetition in the film and of sequences, but they frame it in certain ways that it's not boring. And essentially, what we're watching is about 70 minutes out of a 90-minute film of this woman sort of giving her all and putting her care in the hands of a very dubious person. And this
As
dubious
he's just
person,
screaming at her nonstop.
yeah, Joseph Solomon is this character who's an occultist that she found. It's not explained how she found them, but she just knows she has him, and he comes over to the house and she's checking out the place, and he's giving her a little interview, and it sort of reminded me of something from The Leftovers, the final
Oh, you know
season.
what I just noticed? His last name is Solomon. That's like a reference to Goetia.
Goetia? Yeah, I know.
That's
I just heard you say that word. What does that mean?
yeah. Well, there's this thing called the Lesser and Greater Keys of Solomon,
Okay.
and a lot of like demon movies
Is that like
use this shit
Solomon's
as
Key? I guess isn't that a video
yeah,
game?
yeah, yeah. It's basically the idea in the Kabbalah. I mean, I'm probably messing this up, so don't get mad at me, anybody listening.
Yeah,
But
I don't
in
know what this
like old Jewish like mysticism, there's demons and angels, and there's this guy Solomon who like makes a way to basically control them and capture them, and like
Because
make
keys
them
are
do your
mentioned in this film, and even Kabbalism is. I'm sorry, is that the right way to say
well,
Kabbalism?
the guy's last name is Solomon. There's definitely a reference. Like, there's no way that's accidental. Because the whole time I was watching this movie, I'm thinking of the
What's the correct phrase with is it Kabbalism, or am I
Uh,
saying it wrong?
well, I think Kabbalah. I'm probably mangling this. I don't know that much, but so, but I think the Kabbalah is like a part of the Jewish, but it's more in like the mysticism area, and
Okay,
it
I know
gets
because I
into
remember
demons.
it was a big deal about Madonna studying Kabbalah, and she had like a string wrapped around her hand and stuff like that. They're making a big. That's all I. That's basically all I
It's
know about
definitely
Kabbalah.
the more weird area of Judaism, and then the whole Goetia is like Aleister Crowley made it like really popular,
Okay.
like because he like studied it and everything, and you know
Mr. Crowley, dun, dun, dun. Something, 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 something. Okay, so
that's
this.
really great.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So Mr. Solomon is this guy. How would you explain Joseph Solomon's whole character in a nutshell?
He's an intense, selfish kind of magical drill sergeant.
Yes, he is actually. It's the. I mean, the performances in this film are really, really good. Like, there's a there's a thing about this film where it's very. How can I say it? The way that it's directed, it's not too extravagant. It's not crazy. Like, if you gave this movie to Sam Raimi, he'd be doing like zooms and like splash cuts and trying to add comedy. Where this is a film like you could probably made a whole bunch of comedic elements in it, but it's not taken that way. It's like it's a deadly serious
Yeah, there's
sort of
not that much
psychological.
comedy in here.
Yeah,
A
it's like
little
a
bit.
psychological film. Joseph Solomon's interaction with Sophia can be seen almost like a crazy, like you said, drill sergeant. and it's abusive. And from the trailer itself, it almost looks like this guy's using her for his own,
Well, he
needy.
is.
He is in a way because I get it. Was it because this is what I was trying to get with his character? Was he also using this ritual to get his own wish as well as she was? Like they were going to grant them two
Yes.
wishes with two guardian angels or something
Yeah.
like that. Um, I I'm trying to figure out what to discuss with this film because it seems like there's a lot of stuff is happening, but not a lot of stuff is happening in this film. So, what do you want to talk about this movie? Because it's almost like I can jump towards the end.
Well, this is like
Essentially, in
it's
a
kind
nutshell,
of it's
it's
a
just
hard movie to talk about because there's like not many things happen,
yeah,
but it's more about just getting into the mindset of like this woman's fucking suffering as she's like so determined to do this thing. There's
yeah.
like
I
no
mean,
like you know.
like it actually made me interested in looking up this sort of like I wouldn't screw around with it. Not necessarily that I don't believe in it, but I'm always have that sort of guilty ex-Catholic or Catholic guilt. There you go.
You are a child of God.
But if you're even reading the information via the wiki, they actually have the explanation of Kabbalah and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Kabbalah, for
Okay, cool.
Hebrew, literally parallel, corresponding, or received tradition, is an esoteric method, discipline, and school of thought that originated in Judaism. A traditional Kabbalist in Judaism is called a Mekubah. Excuse me if I pronounced that wrong. So, Kabbalah's definition varies according to the tradition and the errands of those following it. I wish this actually explained what the hell this is about, but
You're not gonna get it from a
no,
wiki. Like
that's
I've read
true.
so many things about this shit, and I
And
still have
also, it
no
could
idea.
probably be edited by a neo-Nazi. So it probably says, "Hey, it makes pies disappear." Okay, and then there's also the Book of Abramelin, Abramelin maybe, is the story
Like
of
as
an.
in Abraham.
It tells the story of an Egyptian mage named, Abraham pronunciation or Abramelin, who taught a system of magic to Abraham of Worms, a Jew in Worms, Germany. What the hell? Okay. Presumed to have lived from 1360. Okay, I don't want to read any of this stuff. Go look at that stuff in Wiki. It's spooking me out. But anyway, so this film essentially is torture, self-torture. He makes her do things like not sleep for 2 days straight, don't eat, don't drink water. She has
I mean,
to.
the only thing he does wrong in my mind is the jerking off
Yeah, I
part.
think
Other
that's
than that,
that's a
everything
pretty.
he's doing is
I think that's a
agreed
thing that
upon.
I think that's a thing that sealed his fate in the film. Obviously, that part because she said he telling her in the beginning of the film there's sex rituals that to get this done, but it's basically just he's a horny guy, he's a pervert in that one scene, and it's one of
Yeah.
those things where you sort of become an irredeemable character. He sort of redeems himself by getting stabbed in the stomach and just sort of, I guess, sucking it up to make sure that the ritual goes through. But then again, he said if they would have left the house, they would be stuck in basically they'd be stuck in that house forever.
Yeah, but at the same time,
So
she's
it's not
kind
really
of
redeemable.
she's bad in other ways because she's lying throughout the whole thing and
Yeah,
creating all
she's
this
lying, and
problems.
she's also not. She's not sticking to the rituals, and she has no patience for this. She wants something immediate. She wants something now. She wants her answers. And there's a couple of spooky scenes where she's hearing a child with her child's voice, even though she's not. She knows that's not him talking to her through the
I
doors
like
and
when
stuff like that.
the thing says, "I'm just some cunt using your child's voice."
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, her interactions with Joseph are 90% of the film, and they're very intense, and it's a very unsettling atmosphere to the film that I think works. I don't know why the film didn't completely work for me. Like, I liked the film, but I didn't love the film like I thought I would.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it'd be some sort of psychological thriller. It is because we're coming off of Jacob's Ladder. Oh, by the way, I didn't get to make the joke last week, but I was like, what if the
What?
Jacob character had to piss a lot and they called it Jacob's Bladder? And then this one,
That's a great joke.
and then what if about this film, it was like she summons she decides her final wish was to have sex with an ethnic man, so then it's called a dark schlong. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I waited a
Woo!
while to come up with that joke. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not racist. I swear. So
He has black friends, everybody.
I also have a black penis. So this film is that sort of tug of war, mostly on one side from Joseph's side, and he is an interesting character. I think Steve's acting is incredible in this film. I think he's a
Yeah, I was
even though
surprised. I associate him with that goofy serial killer
yeah, like
guy.
it's like a because sorry, Sightseers, it's a black tongue in cheek black comedy sort of performance. You know what I mean? That type. Here he's playing straight sort of nihilistic, very hard to read guy. Like when he's yelling at the top of his lungs, he is unsettling. He's got the shave. Is he bald? I forgot. I almost forgot that he's bald in the film.
He's balding.
Yeah, and he's got that large beard, and he does look much more, not as much different than he did in Sightseers, but he's thinner in this one, which gives him this kind of wiry, spooky
I mean,
look
they
to
made
him.
him purposefully dorky looking in Sightseers, and this he's just a guy.
Yeah, it's a difference between like a guy who looks like a nerd and the same type of guy looking like someone who would like shoot at people from like from a rifle like
No,
hidden somewhere.
no, he didn't have anything to do with the creation of this movie. He's just in it, right?
Correct. And I think,
Okay.
yeah, because I think he co-wrote Sightseers with the other actress from that film.
Yeah, yeah, they wrote it together.
What did you think about Sophia Howard's character? The Catherine Walker's character, Sophia Howard. Did you like her?
I,
Did you hate her? Or did you,
I didn't like
feel?
her. She's not
Okay.
really likable, but she annoyed me because she keeps lying and making it worse and worse. But at the end, I liked her.
Yeah, I wonder why she did that selfish sort of act of not telling. I think she explained that she didn't think he would go along with it. Like she wanted. I don't even know why she really didn't go there because she was like she was afraid that he would not take the job if she told him the
Yeah.
truth. But that's what always like fucks people over in these type of films. They don't tell the truth. They always find a way to screw the main character, which I guess is a good way to keep the plot going. Which
Well,
eventually,
I mean, she's a completely selfish character in the first place.
yeah, they're both sort of selfish characters. So to see them sort of work for a common goal is interesting in this movie. Although it's revealed throughout the film. He essentially kills her and then revives her. Like when I was watching the
That
film,
scene was crazy.
when he drowns her, and I was like, "Holy shit! Is she like dead in the movie?" No, like I was like, not I assumed she'd be the main character and live throughout the whole
The
thing. So I
reason
was like,
I
but
actually thought he killed her for real, because when he did, it was after, everything got fucked up because of her lies, so I assumed he was just looking out for himself now to protect himself.
that's what. Yeah, I thought maybe he was making a sacrifice to make himself get out. So
Yeah.
everything about his character is questionable throughout the film. Like, did you not question his motives throughout the whole film? Because I did, and I thought that was pretty cool
No,
from the writers.
he was pretty honest. He said, "I'm getting something out of this. I'll take you along with me for this amount of money."
Yeah, I
Like I
didn't.
knew he was.
I thought he was a huckster. I thought he was a fucking jive man or something throughout the whole film. And
No,
but
as soon as like those things start raining down, you know he's real.
but I did like their interactions. I thought it felt grounded in reality for a film that was about spiritualism and mysticism. I thought it was pretty grounded in reality between these two characters and stuff. But I mean, stuff when she'd find like flowers on the floor, and he goes, "That's a sign." And then when a bird hit the window, that's a sign. And then whenever she finds a toy somewhere that she's missing from the kid, you see it's the truth. And I was like, like every
Yeah,
five
at
seconds, I
first
was
I
like, this
thought
guy's
maybe he
full of
was
shit.
planting that shit for
And
a moment.
but the parts when like even the part when the glitter was coming from the ceiling, that's when you knew the shit was for real. But I was like, maybe she's insane or something. And I thought, okay, maybe he just threw it over her head. But then you see all the light kind of shimmering and falling from the ceiling. Like I thought that was interesting. Like
Yeah.
there's a portion towards the last 40 minutes of the film when it starts to actually show weird and bizarre stuff, and you're like, maybe she's just kind of nuts. But he's also in the room, but he's not showing any sort of reaction to any of it. So you're sort of still left with this, like, is she
Well,
seeing this
eventually he
shit?
does when he
Yes.
tells her about the kid.
Yeah, and then but there's really cool. It's one of those films that is very lo-fi in the way in the way it looks. But when you actually see the crazy stuff, like you see the ghosts and stuff, because I think the whole latter half of the film like makes up for if you were sort of a person that has no a patience for this type of film. Like if you want to see some sort of wacky, bizarre
Well,
visuals,
this isn't the movie to see the wacky,
right.
bizarre
Well, for the
film.
last 10 minutes it is. But yeah, but you got to get to that point. Like you have to appreciate what she goes through to see what she sees at the end. And I think essentially what she does, she goes to hell at the end, and then she's saved by actually, admitting her wrong. Because she sort of admits to being wrong throughout the film at points, but it's not like something that's she's not being what's the word? She's not being
What?
self-effacing, or she's not being really good about it. Her intentions
She's not learning anything.
right. And then at the end, when those creatures or those men, because I was watching this somewhere like in public where I couldn't see the whole screen. I was watching on my phone, so I see my own fucking reflection in the movie. I was like, "Hey, there's a handsome character in this movie." No, but there's a part where I guess they reanimate his body because he does die towards the end of the film because
Yeah,
he
from
got
the
he
stab
got a
wound.
septic shock. He must have died of some septic shock, I guess, because he gets stabbed, and that was really grody when he presses the bandage and the pus starts flying out of it. I was like, "Oof." That's bad business right there, and all of his, I guess, antibiotics. Are you taking your antibiotics?
I'm on antibiotics right now.
Very good, and so you won't have pus flying out of you. And
There's
he
all kinds
dies.
of pus coming out of me. It's also mixed with semen.
So he dies in his sleep, and then because I got confused, super confused at the end, like an idiot. When she leaves and she puts that corpse in the water, I was like, "Did she kill her kid?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, she has her fingers chopped
Yeah,
off."
no.
So
For
that
a
was,
moment, I actually thought this was
yeah,
like
I
a
thought maybe it was
flashback.
some sort of wacky, shitty plot twist, but it was his body she was throwing in the water, putting into the water to sort of, just swim off and well, not swim off, but float off into the distance. But I noticed that her fingers were missing in that scene, so that was his body. Was his body reanimated in any of the scenes? Because I read that
Yeah,
in the wiki,
yeah, it
but I
was
couldn't see.
reanimated.
But it was so dark that I couldn't see him in the
Yeah,
scene.
it was a little confusing, but yeah,
It was like three people,
that's how
right?
they reanimated his body, and there were like some demons and shit. I didn't even care about that part. I was really just
Really?
into like the whole spell, and then the fucking actual guardian angel was sick.
What was wrong with the monsters part? With those, did you find it was like
It
underwhelming and
didn't-
cheap?
No, it's just like they threw it in to like make
I
it more exciting. Like
Yeah, I guess you're right in that sense. I didn't think it was horrible, but I got flashbacks to that. What was that? What was that horrible movie that you guys liked?
Insidious.
No, that movie with remember the couple that they moved to that house because their son died.
I
Like
don't
we
like
still
it. Paranormal Activity.
no. We still live here. We are still here. Whatever
Oh,
that.
oh yeah, yeah. I didn't like
know-
that one either.
Oh, I thought you did. Well, in the
was
episode you said
okay.
you liked it. Okay.
It was
Well, either way,
okay.
anybody who says it's okay is a fucking dummy. Oh, I mean, not you, Danny. Of course not you. And neither is Thea. But I got spooked because I was like, oh, here's the budget showing. When they show these weird like, I was like, are they throwing in last minute villains for no reason? Like I was like, which I didn't
Well, it's her
hate, but I thought
final
it was.
test.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of stupid, but then she, says, "I'm sorry," and then you see this beacon of light, which reminded me also of Jacob's Ladder. And when he goes up the stairway with his son at the end of that one, and I was like, okay, so she goes up the stairs. I wish she should have just walked into the light, and because you see her go up and then make a right. I was like, well, that's broken. Then she goes into another room, and I was literally like.
Well, that's the room where they put the circles.
I told Danny. Oh yeah, okay, you're right. I told Danny as soon as I had seen the film ended, I was like, you know what? I'm sort of a art fruit where I can forgive a lot of things, and I forgave
Yeah.
a lot of the movie because of this one scene where she's in a
It
room
was so
with
good.
It really was because this is like this. What is he like? About 11-foot guardian angel? Like maybe he's
Yeah.
12 feet or something like that. My gauge of how tall a person can look. I guess it must have been like a 15-foot angel because my
He
level
was at
of
least,
mathematics is so
Twice
bad.
the size of a normal.
I
human.
only know the height of a character because I saw Honey I Blew Up the Baby, and they state that the baby in that movie is 15 feet tall. So I assume the angel in this movie was nearly.
No, the baby's the size of a city. Are you kidding?
No, I thought they said he was like 15 feet tall in that movie. That has
Maybe
to
at
because
first,
it's.
but then he gets huge, and then the mom gets huge to stop him.
Oh my god, I forgot that happens in the movie. Oh
It's a good
wow.
movie actually, and they're all
No, it
inside
was.
this
That was a it
pocket.
was a decent sequel. Actually, I think I liked it more than the first one. I gotta. I'm not
It was
sure.
fun. It
It
was
was. Those are good
fun.
movies. And Rick Moranis, he's a good actor.
And he retired from acting,
Yeah, because of
unfortunately.
his wife passed away, and he had to raise his
Yeah,
kids. Thanks for
which
bringing us
is a
down.
great reason, but I miss him.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And he didn't want to be in the Ghostbusters reboot because he thought it was unnecessary. But they showed him wrong, right? That Ghostbusters 2016 was the greatest movie of all
They
time.
definitely showed him wrong.
Oh boy. So I fucking love that Guardian Angel scene. But my only problem is why was he white? Huh, Danny?
Well,
Huh?
because she's her guardian angel. She's white, and she pictures an angelic being as being white.
That racist witch. No, actually, I love that shot. I can talk about that shot for a long time. It was just so cool to see this giant, like, old school, Old Testament sort of
With the fucking sword and
old
everything.
school
It was cool.
artwork. Yeah, and he's just there with his helmet on. His eyes are like white, and he starts talking, and they mute out what he's saying, but it makes it sound like the sound is all fucked up. I thought it was gonna sort of like a Metatron reference, the voice of God. But I
Right.
love that scene, and she asks, she changes her idea of revenge, and she says, "I want to ask for forgiveness because she has become jaded by what has happened to a child." Obviously, doesn't it makes sense? You would be fucking wanting blood, and you want vengeance on people. But I think
Yeah.
when she asks for forgiveness, it cleans her slate.
Well, she asked to be able to forgive.
Right, she has to be able to forgive, which gives her a second chance to, because there's a lot of people that don't like. I'm pretty much a guy who doesn't forgive people. Do you forgive people? I think you do, right?
I
To
do
a
to an
point.
extent.
I think to an extent, right? Forgiveness is very
I
important.
I believe in forgiving but not forgetting.
Exactly. Um, yeah, I think it's an interesting take on the film, and I don't know. I guess maybe there's a moral to the
No, but this
story.
is awesome. Like this whole movie is like beautiful. She like goes through this whole crazy journey of like mourning her kid and then like going insane and now she is doing this like giant struggle just to get revenge and everything and at the end she realizes that she could just let it go and like
Move on with her life. I mean,
and
there
move
was
on
that
with her
cool
life.
scene, towards the end when she steps over the circle that the guy originally had told her not to because she'd be stuck in the house, and she runs over these hills. She's walking, because the car didn't start. She keeps walking, and she just ends up back at the same house. So I was like, is this like the hell ending where she's just stuck here? And obviously it was the hell ending because then that's when she gets attacked by the monsters and stuff like that, and it gets her
Yeah.
fingers chopped off. Did she get two fingers chopped off, or was it just one? I couldn't see. Um,
It was kind of hard to see. It says in
and
Wiki one.
but I think it's an interesting tale of morality and what you would do for vengeance, and is the vengeance really worth it?
Always.
The more I'm talking about it, actually, I'm starting to like it a lot, just because the ending of the film is so visually interesting. With that one
Yeah, I
part,
wasn't
especially
expecting
for
that. It was so out of nowhere.
yeah, it was like out of left field. Like, I mean, you're watching a movie about spiritualism and mysticism, and you're seeing fire coming on, and you see these monsters attack her, and you're like, okay, it's turning into one of those type of movies where it just becomes like a stupid shit monster movie towards the end, and she goes to hell, and that's how it goes. But then when she's actually confronted with the sight of this, large being, it I don't know, maybe it's just because an aesthetic level it turns it into something else completely different, because they go there and they do that. They present you with an image that you don't necessarily see in films a lot, and the fact that
Yeah.
it is an over the top image while staying true to the film itself, because the film is about weird mysticism, and as viewers, do you really buy this shit? Like, the actors are good enough or are great enough that you can buy that this is happening,
I mean,
and if
this
it's
was
all a
like the
psychological
payoff
game.
at the
It's
end.
a, it's it's
So,
it's a definite payoff for a film where you have to have patience with a character who has no patience. So I would originally I was gonna give it a 6, but I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. That ending, I mean, the ending visual is a fucking 9 for myself. Like, I just love that image, but I gotta be truthful with how the movie moves along. But it's a decent film with a really interesting and beautiful visual ending. So I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I know you're gonna do the one about jerking off, so you do that one. A seven out
I
of
wasn't going
ten.
to actually. I didn't
Oh,
know.
okay. A 7 out of 10. Finding out that you can be friends with a guy who is an occultist who treated you like shit, but you accidentally in a hilarious Three Stooges esque accident can kill him eventually, you end up in bed with him, laughing along at his jokes, and then feeling sorry for him, and you can forgive him. I don't know what the
Okay.
fuck I just said. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna give this an 8 because maybe more, like an 8.2, an
Yeah, it
8.2.
deserved that. That ending visual is fucking incredible. Go ahead.
Yeah, it really is. I just love the meaning of it. Okay, so
Yeah.
8.2. You're living with the girl of your dreams for 6 months of grueling effort. And finally, you get to kiss her after you drown her by giving her mouth to mouth.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, some guys will go a long way. They'll always go a long way. With that,
All the
Danny.
efforts that you did, and you finally got that kiss.
Danny, what's the final word?
Sprinkle splooge.
The horror deconstruction.